Hello, this is Custard Trout recording for Addictive Fiction and reporting. I'm here at the Play Expo 2012, the first actual Play Expo. I'm joined with Steve, who's a Konami...
social media and events manager.
With Konami, what do you think is the next big step for them in sort of conventions and expos? Is there anything you've got planned?
Yeah, I think this year for Konami has been the first year in quite a number of quite a long time, I should say, that we've actually invested in exhibitions this year. So we did the Eurogamer Expo for the first time in a big way this year. We had Metal Gear Rising made its debut at the Eurogamer Expo. It's the first time that anyone in the UK had seen it, first time that particular code was seen anywhere outside of Japan, and it was a real indication for us, a good example of how when the investment and the money is put into a show, the game's profile can be catapulted out of beyond our expectations. What we have here now is the first time we've exhibited at any of the replay events. Again, it was something we wanted to try because we've been speaking to the organisers for a number of years now, and they're a great bunch of guys. They're really keen, and we wanted to show the support on their first venture here. And also because of the reaction Rising got the first time at Eurogamer, it made complete sense for us to bring this here and show more people outside of London, because apparently there is a big gaming industry outside of London, just get the first chance for them to see the game. As a result of that, we will now be at the MCM Expo in a couple of weeks. For the first time, we have a presence there every year for the Yu-Gi-Oh! Trading cards. This year is the first year we'll have an actual gaming presence. So again, Metal Gear Rising will be on show. We're also going to be showing the Castlevania Lords of Shadow Mirror of Fate on 3DS. And we'll also show the Zone of the Enders HD collection, which is also here at Play Expo. And it's just a chance for us to start sort of spreading our wings a bit, getting our games in front of people, getting them early looks at the code. Metal Gear Rising Revengeance isn't out until February next year, so it's a brilliant chance for us to not only get the game in front of people but get some feedback from them as well. The game itself has up until now had mixed opinions. People who were very big Metal fans were a little bit concerned initially about the game being moved from Kojima Productions to Platinum Games. Now they've actually had a chance to sit down and play it. Pleasingly for us, the response has been universally positive. I think this is the end of the 5th day in terms of 4 days at Eurogamer and 1 day here. We've had one person grumble out of all of those 5 days, and to be honest, his complaint was he wasn't actually that good at the game. So, you know, that reaction has been amazing, and that's the reason now why you should start seeing Konami's presence at other expos increase quite significantly over the next 12 months.
Excellent. I have a bit of I don't know, I mean, a few people wrote in about it. A lot of people were disappointed with Hideo Kojima at Eurogamer in the sense that they were amazed to see him, but they didn't really feel that they got to see him properly, if you get what I mean. I mean, he was very in and out. Is there any comment on that? I mean, can we expect to see him again at all?
Yes, of course. Yeah, Mr. Kojima comes over fairly regularly for events. The trouble when he does come is that his time is so, you know, he doesn't come for sort of weeks at a time. It'll be 2 or 3 days. At Eurogamer, he was booked in to do a developer session. I think Eurogamer weren't expecting it to be nearly as popular as it was. There were over 1,000 people queuing for 400 seats.
I was in there.
So there were a lot more people disappointed than they were, but that was just space limitations. There was nothing we could have done about that. Mr. Kojima was actually only in the country for 2 days, so he was only there for 1 day at the expo. So that was an unfortunate. And, you know, we apologise to the fans because we know how popular he is when he comes over, but it was just a lack of time did us on that one. That's why he wasn't over for very long, so we were kind of hamstrung there. However, he was so delighted with the response that Rising got at the show. He had a brief look at the show on the Thursday he was there. He saw the people queuing. Our pre-orders went through the roof after the people had played the game at the show, and he was so pleased with how it went. He's already talking about his next visit. He's already talking about Eurogamer next year again. So I think it's fair to say that if it was dipping our toe in the water with Mr. Kojima and the UK events, it was an enormous success. So you'll definitely see him again in the UK. Almost certainly he'll be back to promote Rising. And then after that, obviously we move into Metal Gear Ground Zeroes. Once he's ready to show that off, then we should be seeing him again in the UK for that.
I think people will be very pleased with that response. In terms of the free stuff you've been giving out, they're mostly 3D posters and a few pens and stuff. Can we expect more over-the-top good stuff from Konami?
Yeah, absolutely. It's the lenticular posters we have here, the 3D posters, have also been a huge success. They're becoming quite a valuable commodity here, so if you happen to get one, you can trade it in for... I've been told that they're on eBay as well now. The ones from Eurogamer, people are selling them on eBay, but it's a great piece of merchandise. It's slightly better than your average poster, stickers, all the sort of stuff you get. So again, that's been such a great success. You'll almost certainly see more things like that from Konami in the future.
Zone of the Enders HD is here as well. You've got no sort of promotional items for that. Is there any particular reason why? Should they be a little grumbly or?
No, not at all. I think, if we're being honest, Zone of the Enders is a massive cult hit. In terms of actual physical sales, it didn't really do very well when it was released, but it had such a hardcore following. The gaming press loved it, but it was a real niche title. The same thing applies to this one. We're not expecting the HD collection to sell hundreds of thousands of units because it's still loved by the fans, but they're a very small and passionate group of fans. So for us to make lots of merchandise for it will be a bit of a waste, because the people that are actually interested in the game are nowhere near as high as, say, Metal Gear Rising. Therefore, it doesn't make any sense for us to do tons of merchandise for a game that will probably just sit on the shelf and not actually, we'll end up with a warehouse full of posters if we did loads of them. So
that sounds optimistic. Thank you, Steve. We look forward to seeing you at MCM.
Thank you very much.